I'd like to call to order the Liberal City Commission on this Tuesday, February the 10th. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Denoyer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
Commissioner Williman.
Present.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Will you all please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation as given by Reverend Ann Holman of Risen Glory Church. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Well, Lord, we thank you for this beautiful weather and just for the blessings of today. And we lift up this meeting tonight. Lord, thank you for each of these city leaders that serve so faithfully. And we pray, Lord, that you'll just continue to take us forward. We know that in your word you have told us to promote the welfare of the city that we live in, because in that city's welfare is our welfare. And so it benefits all of us for Liberal to go forward, to prosper in every way. And so, Lord, we just ask for your wisdom tonight, that you just give consensus of opinion and just do, in the decisions made, let it just be something, Lord, that will benefit this area and this town. And so we just lift all of this up to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
All right, our first item on the agenda tonight is awards, proclamations, and presentations. We do have a proclamation to read tonight for Girl Scout Month. I would like to ask Sabrina if she would come to the podium for just a few minutes, and I'll read the proclamation, then we'll present the proclamation to her. Whereas Girl Scouts, the preeminent organization for girls in the United States and around the world, has been an active part of the community, and whereas the Girl Scout Cookie Program, girls learn about business, goal setting, the value of teamwork, and money management, all of which helps them become leaders who are confident in themselves and their abilities, use their knowledge to affect change in their lives and in the lives of those around them. And whereas through the support of generous donors and annual product sale activities, such as the Girl Scout Cookie Sale, the Girl Scout organization is able to offer quality programs on a year-round basis to girls in all racial, ethnic, cultural, religious, and socioeconomic groups. And whereas the City of Liberal is committed to supporting the programs provided by the Girl Scouts of Kansas and encourages our communities to support Girl Scouting at its annual money-earning activity, the annual Girl Scout Cookie Sale. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Joe Denoyer, Mayor of the City of Liberal, Kansas, do hereby proclaim February of 2015 as Girl Scout Cookie Month and encourage all citizens to support the annual Girl Scout Cookie Sale, which began January 31st and will end March 8th, and making investment in the lives of girls and upholding the enterprising spirit of Girl Scouts to remain a self-sufficient organization. I'd like to present this now to Sabrina Rodriguez. Would you like to say a few words?
Look forward to building in this community. This is a community that I hold dear to my heart. I grew up here and went to Girl Scouts when I was in school, in elementary school. So I am working really hard with the community to just revive the Girl Scouts. I know back then we used to have a lot of troops and it's kind of dwindled down. So this is something that we want to kind of push to the parents and encourage Girl Scouts. And we have gotten a great response from the community so far. So we're going to just continue our efforts. And if you guys know of anybody that likes to be in Girl Scouts, send them our way.
Kenny?
We are looking for volunteers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the cookies.
All right, next item up on the agenda is agenda item number two, approval. Slow down, 2 words. Agenda item number 2, approval of the agenda. Any cookie crumbling going on?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is agenda item number 3, approval of the January 27th, 2015 regular meeting. Any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Your Honor, I would like to approve the January 27th, 2015 regular meeting.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Williman with a second by Commissioner Warren. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item is agenda item number 4, which is items from citizens. Are there any citizens in the audience that would like to address the commission on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, items from groups. Are there any groups in the audience that would like to address the commission on non-agenda items? Again, seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, the consent agenda. All items listed are considered to be routine by the City Commission and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a commission member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. We have one item today that is acknowledgement receipt of minutes of the Liberal Convention and Tourism Board from January 22nd, 2015. Any questions or discussion on those minutes? If not, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Or the minutes.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Commissioner Williman. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item is agenda item number 7, which is a final reading of ordinance 4449, amending chapter 15, article 1, sections 15-126 and 15-128, and adding exhibit C-1520 pertaining to declaration of water watch, warning, penalties, and fees. This is a final reading. At the last meeting, we had our first reading.
Right, and Cal could not make it this evening, and I said I would cover this for him. Again, this is the second reading of an ordinance that will bring us in compliance with the Kansas Water Office, will allow us then to get the the Water Conservation Plan that we adopted, I think, a couple months ago, get that submitted. This will be the final step in that plan, and we would recommend adoption of the ordinance this evening.
Your Honor, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 4449.
Second.
Ooh, she was quick. We got a motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Commissioner Williman. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 8, Recycle Center. We have Frank Holman in the audience tonight.
Okay, now, would you tell him to make this quick?
You don't have to worry about Frank taking very long.
Mayor Denoria, Commissioners, Vice Mayor Aragon. In regards to the Recycle Center, it's been down for a while, and after, thinking about it for several months, I say it's been, about 8-9 months, we've been looking at it, different things like that. A lot of people in the community are concerned with recycle. So here we at this point, after the storm destroyed the recycle building, the staff has been working on a plan to incorporate existing sanitation operations, okay? And the Recycle Center in one location, at this time, that's what we want to do. The reason for that is, it used to be at the airport, and we want to operate more efficient. And, I've got a building over there where we keep it, whatever it is, different things warm, different things like that. So we decided that we can monitor it, stay on top of it, keep it nicer, and be more convenient for the community, that they would have access to go to it. So we would operate out of there. Plus, that, like I say, it would save us a lot of extra costs. In the midst of that, this proposal will extend the Recycle Center to the east of the sanitation building with access from 4th Street to the public. As the drawing shows, the drawing shows addition will be constructed on the old bullpen site. And that's the best design estimated. Bullpen site. The best design and estimate is from Quality Structure Incorporation in Ingalls, Kansas, in the amount of $16.95. And I saw you got your package there to kind of see what it would be looking like there. And I even brought a big, larger one in. Some in here might want to look at it also. As you can see here, as I would explain it to you, then I'll show it to others back there. But this is my existing building right here, okay? So we'd be coming right here on the side of it. We would build it out to the east. These would be our sliding doors, and the public would enter from 4th Street right here, 4th Street, where they would be able to just park there, where there's lots of lighting, different things like that. And we'd also like to put in a access door where from the recycle center, about a 10 by 10, we would be able to access it going to and fro with our forklift, you know. And the baler would be inside the sanitation department. That's what we would bale it in. And then also, you know, we do have like furniture, different furniture stores out there, things like that. Some of them, they bring in a large volume. So with that in mind, excuse me there, with that in mind, we would always have somebody there. If they give us the heads up, we'd be able to, because some of them bring trailer loads. They'd be able to come in, let it off with us, we'd be able to get on it right away. Instead of like it was out there, a lot of you seen it out there, how the wind would come, nobody monitored. It became a junkyard instead of a recycle center. So this way I feel that, like I say, we can work with it better, keep it up better. I think the community would be pleased with it. Also, going into this here, on doing this, the staff estimates that it'd be no more than about 10,000. We'll be able to do this in-house. We won't be able to do it due to the staff's commitment to the ball complex, you know, which they do a lot of things going on. They got a lot of things going on. And at this point, I don't have manpower to do it, or even know how to do it as far as that goes. But we have someone to come in to do the concrete work for us, okay? And so I figured that get this all estimated. We estimate the total cost of the overhead door and site preparation and everything within the budget would be about $30,000, okay? Which these funds would come from the insurance settlement that we received. And that last time I was in here, I don't know if you remember it, that we did clean up our bullpen back there, a lot of, after we savaged all of our trucks, and I told you I'd get back with you. We did, you know, bring in pretty good little money on that, pretty close to what, $8,500, almost $9,000 we brought in to help us, but we put it in reserves fund. So I would ask that you support me to make this happen, if we could. Go ahead.
Frank, would you clarify, just so people know, that what we are going to handle? You know,
Yes.
just paper,
Yes.
that we're not changing anything, we're just
Thank you.
relocating that.
Yeah, at this point, we do have corrugated cardboard, newspaper, milk jugs, 2-liter plastic bottles. We handle all of those things like that, okay? Magazines, we handle those things there, okay? And as far as venturing out right now at this point, we're right here at this level. Maybe someday down the line, we could venture out more, but right now, this is where we're kind of capped out according to what we have to operate with.
So we'll handle basically the same thing
Same product. Yeah,
that we were handling before.
And aluminum?
Aluminum cans, yes, sir.
So you're doing glass bottles too? Did you do them before?
We've got the glass. I'll tell you about glass. We've tried to handle glass, and we don't crush it, okay? We used to crush it years ago. I'd say it's been about 20 years ago, okay? We used to try to crush it, and believe me, it was a big hazard, crushing that.
Yeah.
You know, it's very dangerous. The way we can get that out, should community bring them out, we just box them up and do tail in, you know, on the glass, like that.
Mr. Holman, I have a
Yes,
question.
sir.
Do you have a place to go with all your corrugated after it's your cardboard and stuff?
Yes, sir.
So you can have somebody to buy it right up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
As far as that go, I can even give you the plan on that. What we plan to do, if you can see here, the back well, you can't see it, but in the back is void in the back, where we got access to put those 3-yard dumpsters like we used to have, and we'll be running it out, okay? As far as the cardboard materials that we do get, where we're gonna store them, and I've got a bay over there right now, and that bay will hold about 3 semi-truckloads. That one bay that I'm gonna use, that one bin. And we've got 3 companies, International Paper, and that's out of Wichita, Glickman's out of Wichita, and we've got Sunoco out of Hutchinson, Kansas, and they handle most of it. And we plan on using that dock. I don't know if any of you ever noticed or been back there, but we plan on using that dock that we have already, because at one time, Ideal Warehouse used to use it, so they would make excess on, I think it's, let's see, just for 3rd Street right over here, they would come in, come around back in, and we would load it from there at this point.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I noticed you said that the best design and estimate was for QSI for $16,950. Was that the only bid we received then?
No, sir, I bid with another company, Cox. I talked to Jeff Cox, and theirs went, I'd say it was about almost double what I'm looking at here.
Okay, I just want to make sure we...
Yes, sir, I did reach out, and it took me a pretty good while to gather this information, because last time I was here, that's back is early, because I was trying to allow different ones time to gather their knowledge and give it to me.
I'll just be honest, in the 10 years I've been on the commission, when our recycle center went down, that was probably generated more phone calls than almost any other issue that we have dealt with. Primarily handling paper, plastic, and cardboard with a few aluminum cans. Is there any private entity locally that takes this stuff in?
No.
That you know of
I sure don't.
Okay.
That would be something that, I know we've got several, as far as metal, like for instance, you get into your iron and stuff.
Right.
And on that knowledge there, I don't have anything right now, but that would be something that we'd have to check with different people that own these different things, iron companies and salvage yards, whatever, that can do that. It would save us money, and to see how they would be interested, but that would be something I have to check into and look at, are they willing to take it instead of us paying for it to go into the landfill? I mean, that's something to think about.
We do, and we've had discussions, and they're always ongoing with Seward County Landfill, and they've shown an interest. It's kind of come and went, but we do always leave that open if ever they would like to take over recycling.
Right.
Which brings me to my next question. If, this building is approved and future commissions decide to privatize the recycling or shift it over to the county, could this building be used for other things within the city? Or is it specialized enough that it's recycle and that's all it is?
I would say at this point, it's recycling, but you can add on to anything. Okay, it's kind of like a Butler building, so you can always add on to make it whatever you want.
Okay.
The back end is covered, so as far as outdoor storage, it could be used for something like that.
Okay.
It's kind of like I guess you want to say, awning type.
Yeah, kind of awning type.
That you could, just to keep out of rain and weather like that,
Right.
you could put something in.
And so we have estimated cost at $30,000.
Okay.
Did you allow for any problems?
Like concrete work, problems? Yes, yeah, we're looking at that, yes.
So you allowed high, and so probably will come in low.
I believe that's what I'm shooting for, it always comes.
There you go, there you go.
All right. Any further questions for staff? I think one important aspect of this whole project is communication to the public, that it will shortly be available.
Yes.
Because of the paper aspect. I know that is probably the biggest thing that you do take in is the paper and the cardboard from the businesses. And also that we're not expending any general fund monies for this project. It will come from the insurance settlement of the building that was blown over.
Yes.
So Anybody else have any questions? Comments?
I don't have any more questions, but is there anyone out in the public that cares to comment?
Yeah, is anybody in the audience would like to address, say anything? Go ahead, come forward. I told you come in my house, you're going to talk.
Oh, I meant to show this here. I don't know if somebody just saw it.
Come forward, Charles. Come forward, state your name and address in an audible tone for the record.
Thank you, Charles.
Well, South Lake Water Project, I'm Charles Marcellus, and yes, I live in Liberal, so I guess maybe I've been here a while. This recycling thing, it's a nice term. Originally, we were all called junkyard people, but now then we're recyclers. But it's a project that the community in the last 15 or 20 years has really pushed, and it's good for the community. Well, it's good for us primarily because everything doesn't go into the landfill that is an additional cost. And so it's a twofold business. My comment, which I'm not very good at commenting, I always got my mouth open at the wrong time, but this looks like a real fine project you've got going. My question is, can it not be handled now or maybe a little later on as a private venture by some person or industry that would be on the other side of the border and would be paying taxes for the operation of the thing instead of more government control, and pardon my inference, but we have an awful lot of things that our city does for it. If you don't believe that, just count the trucks as they go up and down the road in front of you. But maybe the thought should be there somewhere or another to make it a private organization. There are, I'm not exactly sure, but I think probably right off the back of my head, I could name 4 licensed recyclers in the city that are already in some type of recycling. Most generally, it goes one way or another, and yes, I've been known mostly for metals. That would be brass and ferrous metals. I don't intend to turn it into commercials, but primarily Friesen or Sam take aluminum. They buy aluminum. They don't have to donate it. I think I don't know just which one they specify on, but I do know that they have a widespread outfit that they also purchase materials. Newspapers primarily always are a donation type thing, unless you get into commercials with, it takes a citywide effort. So last time I was involved with newspapers, it was a Boy Scout affair, and that worked out real good. The Boy Scouts did a lot of semis with newspapers, and believe you me, that's a project. But it does take persons behind it to get that part done. But this nice project here, and it's been brought up that it looks crazy to see all these little openings. That's a necessity, because everything has to be divided. You cannot just lump it. However, Hutchison now does have everything down to a lump outfit. They have boxes. It's a private organization, but they put out boxes or containers throughout the city, and it can be mixed. But that's the only place I know of. But anyway, like I say, that's primarily my thing, is that you as city managers can think a little bit about maybe working into it, or if the equipment needs to be moved, maybe somebody would buy the equipment, you wouldn't be stuck with it, to update this thing. There is equipment involved. There's got to be a lot of equipment involved. But, okay, that's the end of my speech. Sorry I wasted your time, but it's something I hope you think about later.
Never waste your time, Charles. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank, what say you with what he just said?
I don't have the answer for what he just said at this time, you know, and matter of fact, Charles, matter of fact, someday from what you were saying now, maybe we can sit down and just talk and, you know, kind of feel my head, rather than me just talking off the top of my head. I'd rather sit down and we can talk and, you know, I'm a little slow, so that might help me catch it a little better. But go ahead.
Well, I was just looking at your building, like say you're basically open back, and you're gonna just have the openings in the front where you can set your dumpsters, and you'll have doors basically that you'll open that, I don't know if you open them or they're open all the time, I guess, so they throw stuff in the dumpsters, but.
Right.
But like you said, if we can have a private person want to take over this and we move it somewhere else, realistically, your building there, all you'd have to do is get some metal and cover up those openings, and you can use that for storage. Like I said, the city always needs
That's right.
a place. So I think the building itself is not going to end up going to waste I think closing up the building, and I think it'd be a great idea if somebody would take over the recycling privately, and I think you would probably enjoy that too. I think more we do it because people want us to do it, and not because we make a lot of money doing it.
No,
Because-
I think it
yeah.
creates community excitement,
Right.
community involvement, and I'm all for it. And so,
Yeah.
But that's why I think that that building can easily be altered cheaply to close up those openings to the public and be used for something other than that, if you can get that changed over to somebody else.
Well,
At the present time, I guess.
and all for private enterprise to do whatever they can do to collect.
Right, and even just certain parts of it, I think you would be interested in
Oh, yeah.
if they would just take certain parts of it. You could always close off those parts and just take certain stuff, and even put up a sign that tells them where to take the other stuff. So I think-
Work with them. We
I
can
think
work
there's
with
all
them.
kinds of ways that we can adjust to what our opportunities might be.
I agree, Ronnie.
Open mind.
And I think, Frank, to speak of, you know, any aluminum recyclers, we don't pay.
No,
We don't pay for aluminum, so that would, if somebody wanted to take that on, that would be an incentive for them. And I think that would actually, if there's someone here in town that offered that service, we'd be glad to make them aware of that, because they do pay for aluminum, so.
So Frank, I would encourage you and Mr. Marcellus to open those lines of communication and see how we can work with private enterprise as well. And so here we go.
Oh, and-
Thank you for coming.
You know, here where we're located, we're, you know, on the East Coast, the recycling, West Coast, the recycling, it's squeezing us in, where recycling is going to become mandatory by federal mandates. Where I'm from, 30 years removed, there's four recycling bins at each curb. You put your glass in one, you put your paper in one, you put your plastic in one, and your general trash in the other one. I think that would be more than what the city could take on, realistically, in manpower. And if we could work towards privatizing it, that would be a good thing in the long run. Right now, the public demand, I think, is that we need something soon because they've been without. And I think if we can repurpose this building later down the road for something else that the city can use, we've got the insurance money to pay for it. And if we can work out a deal with the Charles Marcellus, the Frank Friesens, and you know, Sam and Ryan Hill, hey, let's open those lines and see where we can go. But
I agree with you. Right.
But yeah, and so if we can pay for the building out of the insurance funds and possibly down the road use it for something else, if we decide to go that direction, or a future commission decides to go that direction, then I say we start pursuing things. So, right, any more discussion?
Your Honor, I would make a motion that we set aside $30,000 for this project.
To come out of the insurance settlement.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Williman with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Frank.
Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 9, wastewater department autoclave.
Not necessarily.
I don't know if you have a copy of my sales quotation for I'd like to ask for your good permission to purchase an autoclave for the laboratory. And I don't know if you guys know what an autoclave is, but what it does is sterilizes instruments like in hospitals, dentist offices and stuff. And we're charged by KDH&E to,
Could you put that microphone down closer to you? I'm sorry.
we're charged by KDH&E to sterilize our IDEX pads, which contains E. coli, because we have to check for E. coli in the water. And what that does, it kills any blood-borne pathogens or disease-carrying bacteria that after we sterilize, we just dump them in the trash. So we want to make sure that we kill all any bacteria that might be there. And the other autoclave that we had that we're replacing it with is 37 years old. It was purchased back in 1978. And it finally started losing pressure, losing steam, leaking water. There's just no serviceable. Tried in to fix it, and it quit working after he messed with it. But anyhow, I've got 3 quotes here from Midland Scientific. One for $5,757.20. I got another quote here from Fisher Scientific. And the price list on it is $6,012, $6,012. And the other quote is from North Central Laboratories, and the total is $7,666. And we'd like to purchase that autoclave from Midland Scientific for $5,757.20.
So moved.
Second. A motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any questions for staff? Any further discussion?
I noticed the other quote from them is just a printer on there. That's something you didn't need then, right? Is what, why, and that wasn't included in the other bids from the other people then, right?
I'm sorry.
That wasn't included in the other people's bid anyway? The other 2 bids didn't include a printer anyway, right?
Correct.
And that's something, okay, so you're asking for the
Well,
one without
actually,
the...
let me check this out. The one with the printer in Midland Scientific is $6,656, and we decided to go with the one without the printer because it's something else that could possibly fail, and we'd have to fix it and everything, and we really didn't need it.
Yeah.
Because we keep records of it anyhow, so.
Yeah, good, all right. I just saw the 2 from the same people. I didn't know if it...
These come with a standard 1-year warranty on all these pieces of equipment.
What's that?
Do they all have a 1-year warranty? Is it a 1-year warranty on all of them? I noticed the one from North Central Laboratories had a warranty with it for a year. Did the one from Midland Scientific have any type of warranty at all?
I couldn't answer. Susan was the one that got all this information from different, and I'm not for sure if she's got that or not. But I can get that information to you guys.
Okay, that'd be good to know. Any other questions?
Did we have a motion?
Have a motion and a second.
All right, I guess we'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Kenny.
Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 10, Police Department Record Storage File System.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, our record section is a relatively small area where we house quite a number of records, and we're running out of space rapidly. The current file system is nothing more than drawer files that they pull out, and they're capable of housing 2 years' worth of files. And our records staff is regularly in need of retrieving 4 to 5 years' worth of files on a daily basis. Anything beyond 2 years, we'd have to box up and store in a vault, which would require them to go through and sort through boxes in order to retrieve files on any given day. The proposal you have in front of you is a turnstile type filing system, which actually doubles the amount of space, and it doubles the amount of filing capabilities in relatively the same amount of space. It does that by a turnstile where you can house double the amount and just turn it around and retrieve the files from the backside rather than pulling out the drawers. In this particular system that we're looking at to suit our needs, it's proposed at $10,232 from FileSafe out of Salina, Kansas. With your permission, we'd like to purchase that system.
Any questions for the police chief?
Well, Chief, my question is this a budgeted item?
We did budget
Okay.
for this year.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of the file system for the amount of $10,232.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Commissioner Williman. Any discussion on the motion? You have any old ones?
Yeah, we have plenty of use for them.
Okay.
Actually, one of the uses that we're going to, the citation program that you purchased for us, we're going to contain part of those in that file system. The others, putting over the evidence, there's plenty of use for them, so
Okay.
we're going to use them all.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Chief. Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 11, Information Technology Equipment Upgrades. Mr. Lunsford.
Hopefully this will kind of explain a little bit from memo. It's got a lot of technical jumble in it, but this is something I found today, and hopefully
You mean, you say you're going to dumb this down for us a little bit?
no, because it's sometimes it's even complicated for me to understand, but
What is virtualization?
virtualization, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Mark? So, from the memo, technology changes at a pace that humans cannot stay up with. If you try to stay up with it, you end up spending a lot of money. So, with virtualization, it's a technology that's been around for some time. But what it allows companies to do is condense their infrastructure. Okay? And by that, it allows companies to get rid of multiple computers and run those same applications, those same operating systems on one machine. So it's kind of a twofold cost savings in that you get rid of energy usage from those 7 machines and you just have the energy usage off of one machine. So we have some pretty antiquated technology at the city. I mean, it's old, it's aging every day it ages. But what this allows us to do is use this technology in a manner that will allow us to expand for the foreseeable future, based on the amount of resources each server has. And in this quotation, it has basically 3 machines. These 3 machines offer the ability to serve up to, I would say, 8 or 9 or 10, depending on how many machines we designate off of one machine. And then what happens is, in the event of one of these virtual platforms goes down and needs to be maintained or something, the load is automatically shifted over to another one of these secondary machines. Users don't see any downtime. They don't see any interruption to their daily work. The software that runs these virtual platforms senses additional load, it shifts it over. So it's pretty incredible stuff. Excuse me. But what it allows us to do is, by having a virtualized network, in the event we need to add an additional server or need to have a test bed for software that we need to deploy sometime in the future, we can deploy a virtual machine within minutes and not have to purchase hardware. So it allows us to have pretty extensive capabilities in the fact that we can expand our infrastructure and not have to expend a whole lot of money in the event that we need to expand it, because the hardware that is running this virtualized environment will handle that. And it's, like I said, it's some pretty complicated stuff. I mean, it's based off of how much RAM you have on board of each machine, how much hard drive space you have available to allocate. It's the technology, like I said, has been around for many, many years. It was originally developed by IBM, but just here within the last, I'd say, 8 years, has it really started coming around. Most of your big industry uses virtualized technology in some fashion, and ultimately what it does is it reduces your overall energy usage, because you're eliminating, this is a pretty good example. You've got 7 cups of ice. Okay, we've got this one pitcher. So you take all the 7 cups of ice and dump it into one pitcher, you eliminate 7 cups, but you're running everything over in this one unit. Another example is 8 years ago, before virtualization really took off, you could go into the server room at City Hall, like we have right now, and you would see racks and racks and racks of machines. Every one of those are using power, every one. And, but the other thing that they're doing is, or I should say not doing, is they're utilized it 100% of the time. So they might be being utilized 4% of the time, or 3% of the time, or 15%, whatever. By running in a virtualized environment, you capitalize on the fact that you eliminate those machines that are running at 3%, 4%, 5% utilization all the time, and now you have a machine that runs at 80% utilization. So you get more bang for your buck, per se, because you've got a machine that's running all the time. So in a sense, you're eliminating energy usage, but you're also gaining efficiency and capability, especially in the long term. you're not going to be able to see the initial benefits immediately because, it's measured over a long period of time. But this particular project encompasses removing some of the older equipment that we have. We're going to be condensing right now about 7 machines down to 1. It's going to give us fault tolerance and redundancy. So in the event that something goes bad, the machine takes over and users don't see the interruption. This project also includes the necessary network equipment and the necessary storage that is needed for something like this, because each virtual machine takes a considerable amount of hard drive space to store all of its files that are needed. The other side of it is each machine houses a considerable amount of RAM. I think each one we spec out has about 64 gigs of RAM on board. Those machines are expandable up to 512 gigabytes of RAM per machine. So the more RAM you have, the more virtual machines you can run on board. So that's where the expandability for the foreseeable future comes in. So in the quotation, we submitted bids to 5 different companies. 3 of them came back and responded. Let's see what time they're SHI, Tiger Direct, M&J, and CDWG were the 3 that came back. CDWG being the lowest bid. Now, on the quote, I want to kind of explain where the numbers kind of come from. With this quotation, we're also including pricing for a budgeted item for the police department too. With this quote, we're also picking up a budgeted item for a brand new firewall for the city hall and the virtualization project and a new firewall for the police department, which is budgeted. So that's where that $36,000 comes into play. If you look at the quotation in your memo, it's kind of broken down into where the money is being expended. So the $36,000 that I'm recommending.
There's
It's kind of hard to explain because we're leveraging the cost savings of the shipping and that kind of stuff. So
they combined other projects to make it cheaper.
So it kind of made things a little cheaper on the long end of things.
You probably can't tell me that, because I guess it's probably too hard to estimate, but I don't know exactly what you're doing. I'm sure everybody else knows exactly what's happening there. But I kind of understand what you're saying. Buying a high efficiency furnace and air conditioner, it cost me $3,000 more, but it pays itself off in 2.5 years.
Correct.
You probably don't have any idea what it saves us in power. It's probably too hard to calculate.
It will.
But we're
Right
also,
now, yes, because there's no real way to actually tell what each one of or that particular room is consuming power-wise. That's a number I just really couldn't.
but we're not only gaining that power savings, we're gaining expandability.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, because it's you like I said, you gain on the power savings. It might be minuscule, but you're cutting down on those older machines that use exorbitant amounts of energy.
Yeah, eventually we're going to have to do this anyway, so.
Absolutely.
And this should eliminate server crashes and firewall compromises, which we've seen on the website.
Firewall compromises, the thing with the firewall compromises, I don't know if there's any compromise, but the problem with the firewall is I would say, over the course of the lifetime of the firewall, the company quits making updates to it. So you put yourself at a significant security risk by not getting regular updates to your firewall. So it was just time to make that move and get a newer one. It's actually supported by the company that produces it, so. And that, in a nutshell, that's kind of what this item consists of in staff.
And what,
Staff, our commission have any questions for Tim?
what you're asking for today is the 32,209.46 because the 38,69 was included in the
36.
already been approved?
Yeah, the 3679 is what I'm requesting to be expended. Now, the other portion of that is actually equipment that goes towards the GIS project that was approved on the 27th. That equipment hadn't been purchased.
Oh, okay, so we're purchasing it on this, okay.
Correct.
All right.
And it's saving on shipping and all kinds of stuff.
So the total will still be the 36, just the project, the funds for that project too are all included in this project, okay.
And the total would be?
$36,079.13. Any more questions? If not, we'll...
No, I have a, would you repeat all that in English?
You know how many times I've gone through what I was gonna...
I know you're razzle-dazzling us with all this.
Well, I was trying to find ways that, I could explain it to where everybody kind of got a really good picture of what the...
I got it.
We love you, Tim.
Well, just remember,
Yeah.
on the 19th, the state of the city, he's in charge of the microphones.
Okay, so who's going to approve
I'll make
this?
a motion that we have approved the purchase of the virtualization server network hardware, including all three projects, a total of $36,079.13.
Second. A motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Harrison, who's on a time limit because he is now 62 years of age.
Oh, my gosh.
The nursing home
God,
locks
today's
the
his
doors at 8,
birthday.
so, anyway, we have a motion, a second, any discussion? All
Do
those in
it.
favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Tim. Next item is the city manager's report.
Mayor, Commissioners, trying to keep it brief. Departments are doing well. I know you noticed and been updated about the ball field project. That is going along well. Hopefully, by the end of the week, we will have the sod down for the 2 women's softball, and then we'll proceed to the men's, and that should finish that project. Also, our concrete work, hopefully, will be done this week, by the end of the week. I thank Commissioner Warren for his assistance on the forms and that stuff and guidance, and he's been out visiting the project, and it's always appreciated, but that's going well. The other departments doing great things, and of course, the commissioners will talk about our exhibit at the museum, but things are going well, and I want to thank all the departments for their hard work. And Tim, thank you for all your hard work. And Frank, this has been a thing that he's worked on for a couple of months now. And so, anyway, if there's any questions by the commission, I'd be glad to answer those.
Commission have questions for city manager? No? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 13, items from commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Williman.
Okay. Well, in a perfect world, if we could have a perfect world, and we could have pancake day every day, I would have it every weekend. Thank you, city staff, for cleaning. The streets look so awesome. It's fabulous. So my kudos go out to the city. They are certainly rolling out their red carpet. For our listening audience, this is what's right about liberal Kansas. Okay. Anyway, I'll stop about that. But thank you, city staff, for everything you're doing the last couple of days and the rest of the week for Pancake Day. The fields, the North Women's Softball field, the sod's down, the irrigation's on. Yeah. And the sodding is going on in the south field, like Mark said, the bleacher covers, the dugouts, the megalodon at the airport or at the museum. But most important, happy birthday to Dave Harrison. What are you, 59?
Yeah, 52.
Okay. Well, happy birthday. Here, happy birthday. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
That's how we get on.
Thank you.
It's time for rebuttal. Commissioner Harrison.
I don't know if I can top that deal.
I told you I'd bring
Yeah.
something spicy to this commission.
I tell you, I do have one question, and I'm sorry, Chief Sill, I didn't get a chance to ask you prior to the meeting, but and you may not know the answer to this, but it's my understanding that we have to rabies vaccinate every year, and supposedly the vaccine is a 3-year vaccine. Is there a reason why we're required to do that?
The state requirements, you have to prove that you have a rabies vaccination. It's a 3-year vaccination. Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, you can get back to
I
me
see
on
what
that.
you're saying on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, let me look into that.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
Well, no, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to look into that.
All right. Other than that, I appreciate everything that the staff does to make the city look good and make us all look good. And excited for Pancake Day, and everybody's really spoke highly of what's going on at the Air Museum with the Megalodon, and just really a good time to be part of Liberal. The ball fields look great. Can't say enough about what the folks that work for the city of Liberal do. That's it.
Thank you, Dave. Commissioner Warren.
Well, I haven't been out to see the Megalodon yet. I've got to get out there, and I've been going to take my kid with me and see that. I keep hearing it on the radio and keep thinking, man, I wish I wasn't so busy. I wish I had some time, but it's good to be busy.
We're glad you're busy.
Yeah. And Dave, I thought maybe you were just 49, so I give you a little more credit there. But
I'm not going to kiss you either.
That's good. I have been out to the ball fields, so yeah, I'm really excited. I guess everybody knows that that's my favorite sport is baseball, so I get excited every time I go out there and seeing what's happening. And I think that they're doing a really good job. Everything looks good. It's exciting to you can actually see the lights from a long ways away, and it looks like we have a real sports complex out there now, and lights all over the place, and I really like that. And they're, like I say, they're working hard. I'm a little bit concerned that the weather's been too nice. I wondered if the Parks Department's starting to worry a little bit that they might have to start cutting grass before they get done out there. But I still hope the weather stays nice.
Yeah.
I just hope that, like I say, it's going really good out there. That's all I got.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
Also, happy birthday, Commissioner Harrison, and thank the staff very much. The city does look really good, and was in Dodge City today, and I had somebody make a comment about they had to come here hospital for something, but they said, man, the Liberals changing. So that's kind of nice to hear people in Dodge City talking about it, but that's good. And thank all the staff for everything they do, and just mention that Thursday night is the forum at the Chamber of Commerce for all of the 12 candidates that are running for City Commission. I hope everybody comes out. I hope we have a good turnout. Hope everybody makes it there. Get an opportunity to come and meet all 12 candidates. I think it's pretty special for Liberal to have 12 people that care that much about it, that want to represent it. So come on out and meet everybody. Get a chance to talk to them. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Again, I'll just reiterate what Vice Mayor Aragon said. Meet the candidates Thursday, 7 o'clock. It's just going to be kind of informal. I think you get, 6 minutes?
3.
3 minutes to...
3 and 3.
3 and 3, so 6 minutes total to kind of introduce yourself and some talk about things that, why you're running, things like that. So encourage people to be an informed voter, and then to get registered if you're not, and then to get out and vote. March the 3rd will be the primary, with April the 7th, the general election. State of the City address has been set for Thursday night, February the 19th, 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Upstairs at Seward County Community College. If you're interested in what has been going on, what is in the future for the city of Liberal, this would be a great way to be informed. And without stealing any thunder from that, January 2015 has set another record for 1 cent sales tax collections in the city of Liberal. So Liberal again being the draw here in our part of the world, and things are happening here. So another record month. And what typically is a slow time of year, January of 2015, but collecting more sales tax than we ever have before in January. Pancake Day, a lot of festivities. I know Janet has been working hard with Mike Brock on the parade. Don't know where you at on numbers. Do you have any idea?
Probably 43 entries so far.
So far. And I know there are several more that are just kind of typical, waiting to the last minute to put those entries in. Eating and flipping contest Saturday morning, the parade, the pancake chase, the talent show on Saturday, Miss Liberal on Sunday, and then Tuesday, the breakfast, 6 o'clock. We have some dignitaries coming in. The Burns, Devin, who has won the Olney side 3 times, the international 3 times, set the record twice, tied it once, and her mother, who also won the Olney side 3 times, the international side twice, one of those times being while she was pregnant with Devin. Both of those ladies coming to Liberal Friday. We'll be in town Friday, and just we'll be participating in everything that we have going on regarding Pancake Day. Megalodon have been out there twice so far. In the first 10 days, over almost 1,200 people have gone through the doors to the Megalodon exhibit, and that is prior to the school tours that will be starting soon. So another full, wonderful cooperative effort with businesses, with the foundation, and with the City of Liberal to bring that to Liberal, and should be here through May the 3rd. So we should see record numbers for not only the exhibit, but also for the Air Museum. Thanks city staff for everything that they do. The crews working Saturdays. They were even working across the street from my house on Sunday, getting things ready at Roswell Field and out at the ball complex. So dedicated employees. As always, we have the best of the best, and I do want to thank them for their diligence in what we have set before them to complete these projects in a timely fashion, and most of the times, like Frank said, under budget, to where we can do more good things for the city. We've got a great staff. That is all that I have. So with that, we'll move on to the next agenda item, the vouchers.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the vouchers in the amount of $1,384,987.02.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Warren, a second by Commissioner Williman. Any discussion on the vouchers? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 15, which will be an executive session. A 10-minute executive session per KSA 754319B2, consultation with an attorney for the body or agency which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship. Our motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Present will be
Sherlin and myself.
Sherlin, City Manager, and the Commission will go in starting at 7:35, come out at 7:45. All those in favor? We'll be back.